Now to new concerns about contamination in the Arkansas River.
Right now, the HF Sinclair refinery is putting in a second containment cap to try to keep pollutants from going into the river. That's making some question the city's plan to make a portion of the river recreational.
Tulsa's investigative reporter Jana Clark brought you a special report on this issue last month. Now she found out how some Tulsans have been trying to warn city councilors about it. It's her latest FOX23 investigation.
The big question is, what is in the river? No one knows for sure because, like I've been telling you since 2017, no one has been testing the Arkansas River in the Tulsa city limits.
We don't know what's in the water because no one has been testing the river.
I told you how Kelsey Royce and Barbara Van Hanken found in February this black gunk in the water and saw this oily sheen.
Is it concerning? It's very concerning.
In July, the HF Sinclair refinery started building another containment cap right next to the river. HF Sinclair wrote in an email, it's to prevent hydrocarbon sheen from entering the Arkansas River at the location. The refinery is under a corrective action permit with the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality. This is the second containment cap in this part of the river in 2 years.
They're working on remediating contaminated groundwater under the facility. Some of the contaminated groundwater is migrating towards the Arkansas River.
DEQ says this is just a small part of a bigger pollution problem. There's historical contamination here that's been seeping into the river for decades. In fact, a massive plume of contamination underground is, get this, 392 acres. To give you some perspective, that's about 4 times the size of Tulsa's gathering place. When City Councilor Grant Miller saw my FOX23 investigation in July, he took issue with this part of my story.
Just one line in there that said, I think you said something along the lines of city leaders are pushing forward this plan.
So if I say city leaders are pushing for the Zinc Lake project, you don't want to be lumped in with that?
No, yeah, I mean, I'm not pushing for that project.
I don't feel like it's worth the risk to put myself or my loved ones in that river.
Kelsey is part of a group called the Arkansas River Rights Coalition. They've been working to get city leaders' attention. They asked Miller to put them in front of city councilors. Here they are at this Public Works Committee meeting on May 17th. They made a presentation.
We're a group of like-minded individuals united by a shared concern for the Arkansas River in Tulsa.
But then here's what city leaders said.
I just don't think we have the time to start a conversation.
They promised to get everyone back to the table again soon to talk about it.
So we'll probably need to put this on a future agenda.
But Kelsey told me she never heard from anyone. Miller said the same thing.
Essentially, it just kind of got blown off from there.
So the group came back again earlier this month. This time it was different. For one thing, Councilor Christian Bingle says he saw my FOX23 investigation that aired in July.
I think we all saw the story on FOX23. And again, that's when I expressed my concern.
And Councilor Jamie Fowler spoke up too.
I couldn't agree with you more about the water quality in the river. It's terrible.
What are your concerns about the Arkansas River water?
It's, hey, we know that there's a problem here. We know that there's a pollution issue. We know that there's petroleum byproducts seeping into the river.
The city of Tulsa's plan to spend almost $50 million of your tax dollars on the Zinc Lake project. The city's website shows the project to open a whitewater flume. You can expect things like canoes, watercraft, and rowing.
I think that the health of the river and the people encouraged to recreate in it needs to take precedence. That needs to come before discussions of vendors, accommodations for vendors, kayaking.
Right now, river testing is happening in Bixby and Sand Springs, but not a 7-mile stretch right through the city of Tulsa. The city says they plan to start when the dam is finished in the fall. They say they'll test for a year before anyone is allowed to recreate in the water.
If you're going to create a project, sell it to the public, a recreational project, it better be safe for recreation. And they haven't done their due diligence or duty of care owed the public to assure us that that's what's happening.
Why do you think they haven't been testing the river in the city limits?
The area that runs right in front of the refinery that's putting out a bunch of petroleum byproducts. I mean, to me, it's pretty clear why they're not testing right there.
Tell me what's so clear.
Well, it's clear that they're going to find things that they don't want to find, things that are going to be hazardous to people's health.
We're working on it. We're working really hard.
HF Sinclair held a public meeting August 9th. Kelsey took this cell phone video of that meeting. Those speaking for the refinery tried to reassure people.
We're concerned. We're working with DEQ. It's a process. It's a 100-year-old refinery. We're working through the steps, so it takes some time.
But people still had a lot of questions.
So there's no water testing happening of the river water in this area by where this recreational lake is getting built.
We need to look at this from the safety angle and the health of the general population that will be coming down here and protecting them. And if that means putting signage along the river telling you this is not safe to swim in, then do it. We used to have them years ago, and now somebody took them down. And
I found this old photo of one of those signs. It's a Tulsa Health Department sign warning people about touching the water. This photo was taken at about 27th and Riverside. I tried to find out when these signs were taken down and why, but no one who's now at the health department could tell me.
What needs to change? What needs to happen? We need to know what's in the water. We need to be assured that it's safe. We need to be assured that those who are entrusted with overseeing public funds have spent them wisely.
AHF Sinclair says it plans to hold public meetings every 6 months to give updates. Building this containment cap will cost the refinery more than $10 million.
Wow. And what about a 100-year flood like we saw back in 2019? Will that containment cap be able to hold up?
Well, in the public meeting that was earlier this month, the refinery spokesperson actually said the containment cap is designed to handle that much water flow.
I know this is something you'll continue to watch closely.
Of course.
Jana, thanks so much.
Do you have a tip or issue that you think Jana Clark should investigate? Let us know. Email fox23investigates@fox23.com or call 918-388-5354 or search Fox 23 Jana Clark on Facebook.